Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cody Steck. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're talking about the real estate market here in St. George and what's happening over the last couple months. We're going to be taking a look at prices. We're taking a look at the number of listings on the market, the number of properties that have sold, and also some of the past data that will give us some context on what is actually happening today and whether that's normal, whether it's not, and what we're looking at overall. So we're going to jump into some really interesting information here. As we do that, if you are thinking about making a move here, or you already live here in St. George and you want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, make sure to reach out to me. Me and my team service the entire state of Utah, and we love helping people relocate right here to St. George or relocate within the city limits already. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, or even build a new home with a builder, reach out to us. My information is here on the screen. Cannot wait to hear from you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this data here and take a look at what we have. So let me move myself over here, and we're going to zoom in here a little bit and show you this. Okay, so this is the number of listings that we currently have on the market. So you can see that for new listings, sold listings, and active listings, you've got these three different colors. So if we take a look at this here, you can see that the number of listings for active listings is climbing. This generally does climb going into the fall months. August, September, October, inventory usually does climb here in St. George, and then it will drop through the winter. But what we're seeing here today is as we hit the summer months here, inventory has climbed substantially. So roughly this time last year, we're at about 800 active listings, just under that. And now today we're sitting, as of the end of July, we're sitting at just over 1,400 listings. So that's almost twice as many as we were seeing previously. Interestingly enough, sales have dropped. Looking at the sales here, we are seeing that sales are, let's say, about 350 to 375 for July of this year. If we look back to July of last year, at least August of 21, right here, you can see that sales were a little bit higher at about 500. Now, if we take a look at new listings, you can see this is also up as well. New listings typically drop here, and then they've been climbing ever since. They actually did drop just slightly here in July. Now, let's take a look at the listing prices. So coming over here, this is for the last year. The active median listing price did climb up pretty substantially. Into the winter, it climbs even more just because there's a lot of people moving in at that time. There's a lot of people saying, hey, I want to live in St. George. The weather's nice. We're getting out of the snow. We're getting out of the heat, whatever it is. Moving to St. George is a very popular time during the winter months. So we did see that the active median listing price was, let's say, about 520 to 540,000 here in August of 2021, and it did climb up almost all the way to 700 or just over 700,000 in March of this year. That's pretty crazy to see that much of a gain in just a short amount of time, right? That's like 7 or 8 months, and it climbed almost $150,000 for the median price. This could also be because there's a lot more higher end homes coming to the market. There could be new construction coming to the market. So this could be one of the causes of that, but it's pretty surprising to see where we're at there. Now, prices have declined, over the past 6 months or so. And the median listing price is actually here at, just sitting at about like 630,000, let's say, based on these numbers here. So if we take a look at what is actually happening on sold homes, you can see that the median price here has changed pretty drastically as well. So even though the active median listed price is substantially higher than what is actually selling, we are still seeing some of those same changes. So here, the median sales price is about, let's say, 440,000. It did climb up to about 550 in February of this year, hovered right around there for March, April, dropped slightly into May, rose a little bit back up in June, but then dropped off in July. So we're now sitting at just over 500,000. So we're really going back to like levels that we saw in January of earlier this year, right? So January, it looks like we're right around 500,000, and we're still sitting slightly above that. So yes, prices have come down slightly, but I do think that they will continue to come down. And, I think they've got at least another 5 or 10% to go before we get to a point where they're kind of starting to level off. So let me go ahead and come down here. So absorption rate, we'll just take a quick glance at this. Absorption rate basically means how many months it would take for all the homes on the market to disappear if there were no new listings on the market. So this kind of shows how many active listings are coming versus how many sold listings are, how many homes are actually selling. And you can see here that this data fluctuates. In the winter of this year, it was down to 1 month, which is crazy low. 3 months is actually pretty normal. That's what they say is a pretty healthy market, somewhere between 3 and 5 months for absorption rate. The sold to list ratio, this is also surprising. This is something I like to watch a lot because it really gives you a sense of what's happening in the market. The thing that's surprising here is that in September, October, November, December, January of this year, we did actually see a lot of homes selling for below the listing price. This is contrary to what we've seen in other parts of the state, up in northern Utah. For Salt Lake, we saw homes selling for 2, 3, 4% above that 100% marker. So to see this is actually kind of surprising here that the sold to list ratio was actually lower. This means that, on average, if you had a home listed at 500,000, you're going to be offering roughly 97 to 98% of that in order to get that home. So that's going to be, let's say 2 to maybe 3% off, which means that you're looking at, offering 490 or 485 or something like that. So the sold to list ratio did climb back up into the spring months here. So we were at, 101% or, just over 100%. It looks like 101's up here at the top, almost climbing to 101% here in May, but then it's fallen off substantially. So this means that basically homes are still listed way too high for where they should actually be. And this means that there's going to be a lot of price drops. This means that there's going to be people getting more motivated to drop their price or take an offer that's lower than, what they originally listed at. All right. So scrolling down here, days on market. This is one last thing I just want to touch on here. Average days on market, it does climb into the winter months, approaching almost 40 days on market, which is pretty long time, compared to other major metro markets. That's a pretty long time for, especially for an area that's still really hot like St. George is. If we come back down here, through the spring months, we were at about 20 days. Again, this is contrary to what we've seen in other markets where we were seeing, down here in the single digits for days on market for other parts of the state. If we look at actual list price volume, so this is the number of homes that are listed and what the cumulative value of those homes is, right? So this is this is going to fall in line with the number of listings that are coming on the market. So the active list volume, you can see, is climbing pretty substantially, sitting at just over $1 billion worth of total real estate, which is pretty crazy to think about. But the actual sold sale volume has fallen slightly just over the past couple months. So this is really interesting information. There's some additional information down here below that is, you can look at. The one thing I want to touch on here is let's look at the median sales price. So the median sales price for July of 2022 was $520,000. If we look at July of 2021, it was at $465,000, which represents a 11.83% return or change from 2021 to 2022. If we actually look at what happened 2021 year to date versus 2022 year to date, this climbed over 27%. So that's a pretty substantial rise there. We did see the market level off a little bit in 2021 compared to where it was in, or I should say in over the last 12 months compared to where it was the previous 12 months, right? The last half of 2020 into the first half of 2021 was absolutely insane. And then it did kind of level off as far as the growth, although there still was a lot of growth, a lot of competition, and a lot that was really happening there. So pretty interesting information here. There's a bunch of stuff here. If you want to, pause the video right here, you can kind of look at what's going on in these different price points. I think this is actually really helpful. If we look at new listings, you can see that the bulk of new listings are coming between 500 and $1 million, right? And most of those are going to be between 500 and 750. So, St. George is getting a little bit more expensive, and that's just kind of the reality of the market. There are homes out there that are between 350 and 450, but there's definitely not as many as there used to be. So with that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you get notified on these future videos, and also don't forget to reach out to me. My information will be here on the screen. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, or even build a new home with a builder, we'd love to help you. I want to be your trusted real estate resource when it comes to buying and selling real estate here in St. George. And last but not least, don't forget to share this video with a friend or a family member who might also be interested in learning a little bit more about the St. George, Utah real estate market. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.